This is a super easy tutorial for making your own 2x4 Christmas trees. We'll walk you through the process of creating these trees. Check out the end of the video and it has all the measurements and also how to resize these trees to make them as big as you want. All of these pieces are going to be cut with the 2x4 on its side. So you're going to want the 2-inch side down and the 4-inch side along the fence. All of these pieces are also going to be cut at angles. It's either going to be a 22.5 degree angle or a 45 degree angle. All of the pieces I measure from the longest point over and mark it, and then that's going to be my longest point on the other end. And I'm going to cut the angle back towards the piece of wood. To achieve this, you're going to cut one end at an angle, and then you're going to slide the piece of wood down and flip it over so that the angles are going towards each other. When you measure from one end to the next, that's going to be your longest point, and so that's where you're going to line up your saw blade, is that longest point, and then it's going to cut back in that 22.5 degrees. The two ends at the top of the tree are both cut at 45 degree angles, so you will need to make two 45 degree angle cuts. So this is the tree that just has the 3 parts to it. I'm starting at the top. I have clamped the 2 sections to my table so they will not move. I'm going to pre-drill the holes and then put the screws in and then move to the bottom of the tree. At the bottom of the tree, it is the same technique. I'm going to line it all up. I'm going to clamp it to my table so it doesn't move, and I can easily make those pilot holes and put my screws in. For the base of the tree, I'm just going to measure that bottom board and mark the center point. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the base of the tree, and I'm just going to line them up, and that's where it's going to go. And I'm only going to put 1 screw in either side. You can certainly put more if you like, but that is enough to hold it. This tree has 7 sections to it plus the base. I'm just going to lay it all out so I know exactly what pieces go where. The 2 very top pieces have 45 degree angle cuts on them, and the rest are 22.5. So that's pretty easy to figure out. Taking 2 of the side pieces, I'm going to measure. I want a 2-inch overlap. If you want a different measurement, that's fine, you can do that. I chose 2 inches. I'm going to clamp them together to hold them while I screw them together. It's just easier for me. It's another set of hands. So I'm just going to construct one entire side, and then I'm going to go and construct the other side. Then I will screw them all together. Make sure that you put 2 screws in each section that you're screwing together so that the pieces of wood don't twist. They're good and solid. I am putting the screws on the inside so that you don't see them from the outside of the tree, and that's the reason for assembling this in 2 different sections, is so that I am able to get my drill in there to put those screws in. I have both sides assembled, and now I am screwing the top together, and then I will put the bottom on. This tree is going to be 4 feet tall, and I wanted some extra stability on the base of the tree so it didn't tip over. So I'm just making these little legs for the base, and I'm going to use my Craig pocket hole jig to drill some holes in here so I can attach these legs without the screws being seen. This is a 2x material that we're working with. These are 2x4s, and so we will want to have the jig adjusted to accommodate that. So make sure that you are making your holes deep enough and that your collar on your bit is set correctly. I am making these holes in the bottom of the feet, so when it's standing up you won't be able to see them. I do have an angle cut on one end and the other end is a straight cut. Make sure that your angles are going the correct way before you drill your holes in this. We do want them to be matching. I have the base of the tree and I'm going to put my feet onto it, so I'm just going to measure and mark the center of my piece of wood, and then I'm going to do the same for the feet, and then I'm going to match up the center point so that I know that everything is in place. Also, make sure to watch your angles. This is going to be the bottom of the piece, so when I flip it over, all of my angles will be facing the same way. If you are making a tree that is 4 feet or taller, I would recommend making this type of base for it. It just gives more stability so it's not going to fall over. I do like how the trees turned out. They added a little bit more dimension and a little bit more pop to my front porch decor. I do also like how I made 2 different designs. I'm just gonna leave these naked wood. I'm not gonna stain or paint them right now anyways. So I did want to dress up this tree a little bit. I did see that some people will put some greenery on them or a wreath or some lights, so I thought I'd put some beads on there. I'm measuring down from the inside of the top down to the bottom, and I'm making a mark every 6 inches. On the other side, I measure down 3 inches, and then from there make a mark every 6 inches. So my marks on either side are offset, and I am hammering in some clear thumbtacks because it's what I had, but you can certainly use some tiny little nails and put in there just something to hold your beads or your lights or whatever you're putting on there. So I'm just putting one at every mark that I had made, and then we'll string the beads on. You'll have to play around with it a little bit to get the look you want, to see you know, how much your beads drape and or your garland or whatever you put on here. But the possibilities are infinite, and you can dress these up however you want. You can paint them, you can stain them. They're super easy to make. You could make an entire forest for the front of your house. You could have them inside your house. They're just a really fun little project to make. These are the measurements that I used for my smaller tree. The larger tree, I just increased it by 4 inches. So this is everything you need to know, all of the supplies, how to resize, and everything to create your own trees. So here are my trees out in the wild. After looking at this image, I feel like I might put like a little star or something on top of the tree that has the beads, just to dress it up some more. This is the last video in the 3-part series. If you missed the other 2 parts, you can check out these videos and have fun designing your own forest.